Right, well, good morning in Talofa Lava bikers. We're back at Southern Motocross Alvatham again this week. Nowhere near as hot as what it was at the forest track last week. We're at crack 30, so forecast 21 today, so should be better riding conditions. Compared with when I went a couple of weeks ago to this track, we're running the other way around. Couple of things for me to achieve today, the small thing and a bigger thing to think about. So the small thing, as I mentioned in my vlog last week at the forest track, is I'm stiffening up the suspension on the 250F. So that's the other big thing. I'm on the 250F today after having ridden the 202 stroke for the last few outings. So I've stiffened up the rear shock, put another rate higher on the rear. It was already one rate higher from stock, being that I'm quite substantial compared with the young whippersnappers that usually ride a 250F. So we'll see how that goes. The shock's pretty good. I've just put 1 psi in the PSF2 front fork to balance that. In theory it should need a couple to make balance, but we'll see how we go. The shock's generally pretty good. The fork's quite finickety and general seems to be a bit stiffer. You know, the stock recommendations are a bit on the stiff side, I think, for most riders. Even Motocross Action found them a bit stiff when it tested it back in 2016. Anyway, so the fork will probably take a bit of faffing around, but we'll see how we go. So anyway, back on the 250F, see how the suspension changes go. But the big issue is, have I crossed the 4-stroke Rubicon? So what I mean by that is, throughout most of my life, I started riding in the, I suppose early 1970s, just on little wee trail bikes, like literally 70cc, little putt bikes. Most of my life I've ridden 2-strokes off-road, not all the time, but mostly. Certainly for motocross, cross-country, enduro, 2-strokes. And so I always think of myself as a 2-stroke rider. There's no doubt getting onto the 4-strokes, I just think that they are just so easy to ride, it's not even funny, without a shadow of a doubt. The only thing I've really struggled with my 2-stroke pedigree, if we could call it that, is the engine braking. I've never really fully adapted to when you close the throttle that the bike's braking, right? You need to keep a little bit of drive on at times, so that's something I've struggled to master. But anyway, long story short, the 4-strokes are beautiful to ride, easy to ride. The 2-strokes are fun. To be fair to my 200, most of the last 20 odd years since I bought it new in 2003, it's been used for cross country, and it's a cracking little cross country bike, to be fair, short of one or two little foibles, but in general. So having said that, the 200 SX is not a motocross 200 EXC. It's a 125 SX of that year with a big head put on it and whatever other changes are needed to make that work. So the 200 is an SX, but I guess the 200 2-stroke motocross / enduro bike to some extent is a 200 2-stroke, right? And certainly the 200 is a lot of fun, and I can get really good flow on it on a cross-country circuit. So by that I mean a typically sort of 3 to 5 mile circuit, farmland, woods, that sort of stuff. So it's been great fun for that, and actually I get quite good speed on that. But I've always struggled, particularly on loose motocross tracks. On a firmer surface it's not so bad, but on loose motocross tracks I can't generate the confidence on the 200 that I get on the 250F. So anyway, so we're back on the 250F today. I've changed the suspension, so that might sort of discombobulate things just a little bit, but the philosophical question is, have I crossed the Rubicon? Am I now, at least for motocross, a 4-stroke rider? Can you believe that? You doing that? Good. Hopefully not as hot as the last couple of weeks, eh? Hopefully not as hot as the last couple of weeks. No. Right, so where were we? So that's the question, isn't it? Have we have we crossed the 4-stroke Rubicon with respect to motocross? Am I now an avowed 4-stroke rider? We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, so what else? Today's meeting, yes, so no overs today, so no overs 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, except because there's a big veterans meeting on at Fairleigh Castle. The Brits, most of the older Brits will know that, so the half the field would be gone, and certainly the very fast guys will be down at Fairleigh Castle. So they've cheated me out of my one chance in the year of a top 10 placing in the over 50s, because they've not got the over 50s, because there'd only be less than 10 of us there, and that'd be a cheap way to get a top 10, wouldn't it? But I'm cheap and I'd take it, right? Anyway, so no over 40s, 50s and 60s, so just doing the skill grades today. We'll see how that goes. I've done that a few times and it's actually quite good, with a bigger field, and it's the classic thing, wherever you are there's someone ahead of you and someone behind you, so that's the times I've done it, it's generally been quite good fun. So we'll see how we go today. Should be good. Alright then, that's probably us. Catch you later. Okay, so I'm just going to start a little bit earlier than normal so you can see the practice routine. So practice will be on shortly. They haven't done a clearing lap yet. This is a wee way away, but you'll see some of the keen ones are already off down there. Others are still loitering at their vans. So I think I described on the general video about the club, it's a first and best dress system. Usually I go down quite late, but just for the sake of those who haven't seen how it works, I'll head down a bit earlier today. As you can see, riders starting to accumulate on the line, and once I've done a clearing lap, they'll start letting them off in groups for practice. A couple of 3 laps for each group until everybody's done practice, and then the qualifying races will start. Okay, let the games begin. They've just got a thumb up, so now the baying crowd will be pushing to get out there. I don't know if you can see, just ahead of me there's a air-cooled YZ490 classic bike. Bugger to start. Oh, there we go, the first lot are off now, right? Yep. This guy beside me saying that's right. Let the keen ones off, they can get the worst of the mud and crap off. As you can see, it's all a bit arbitrary. They just let a decent sized group go, 2 or 3 laps, next group and so on. I'll wait till the end so the track's a bit clearer. Okay, made it. Let's have a look at it. Okay, and with the magic of video editing software, we'll leave it there and pop back shortly straight into the qualifying races. Purple flags out and qualifying races. Same sort of deal, first and best dress. It's the first qualifying race now. They'll fill up the line again, and I'll just head down for maybe the 3rd lot. Okay, qualifying race, and I'm in a rubbish position for the left-hand turn because being so short I have to find the block of wood. I don't know if you can see it down there, of which there is one. Oh, there's a ladybird on it. So I had to find the block of the wood which is hidden in the back here, and by the time I do that, of course, all the best gates are gone. That's okay. So I do have a strategy for qualifying races, particularly this time because I'm in such a rubbish position. We'll let the bulk of the pack go and just aim to stay upright and get around the first corner. But once we're underway, I'm hoping we'll have enough laps and that I'll be able to work my way up just a little bit, because what I'd like is to not be in the slowest group. If possible, the second to slowest is good. The reason for that is that in the slowest group you do get genuine novices, and that's fine, but they're a bit random, they're more likely to fall off, and they do strange things on the track, so being in a slightly quicker group is actually, I think, a little safer and hence more fun. So that's the strategy. Let it go, and then do a bit of a practice start on the way out. A few of the others as well. Now it should be obvious that for a tail ender wanting to not be last, that little pile up is an opportunity, right? So we're guessing at this stage how many groups there's going to be, 4 or 5 most likely. But if there was 4, you want to be, and I want to be in the C's and not D's, and there's no chance of anything other than that, then quick bit of a mental arithmetic. We want to be in the third quartile, between the 50th and 75th percentile, which loosely translates into it's okay to have half the field in front of you, but you need to have a good chunk of it behind you. And there they were on the ground. So that's a good start. So my cunning plan of getting the third group, or fourth group if there's 5 groups, was all going swimmingly at this point. What could possibly go wrong? It was going so well. Not part of the plan, was it? So that's ruined my plan, isn't it? Stupid era. Yes indeed. Anyway, so now the long and the short of it is I was going to have to do a whole bunch more work. Catch a few riders and get myself back in a better position. Nobody to blame but myself. Now, you might think this is no big deal, but keep in mind you're dealing with an old man here, and I've still got 3 races to go, so saving energy in the qualifying race would have been a good move, but no, I had to muff it and make myself put in some work. Anyway, as it happens, it all worked out swimmingly, and there were 4 groups, and we got in the C group, which is where we wanted to be, so all good at the end of the day. And what's more, the upgraded suspension was feeling really good. It's a little bit stiffer on the small stuff as you fully expect, but actually the bike was feeling really good. The balance was excellent, and she was feeling good. So time to go racing. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so despite my unscheduled fall in qualifying, I got into Group C out of the 4, which is perfect. This is race 3. So there we go, they've just been watering the track. Watering the track, so there'll be the usual water hazards as well as the rider hazards. Nasty, isn't it? Okay, from here let's drop ourselves into the last couple of laps of the race where there's not so much traffic and you can get a better look at the track, and then we'll get back to the point of the whole video really, which is my 2-stroke versus my 250S and what's it going to be. We'll see. So the £10,000 question, if one was buying a new bike, what's it to be? 2-stroke or 4-stroke? Well, to be honest, here and now today on this track in these conditions, not even close. 4-stroke takes it. 2-stroke's a lot of fun, but 4-stroke just so much easier to ride and easier to ride faster. So there we go. Thanks for listening. Just remember the like and subscribe thing. They tell me it makes a difference, and I'll see you next time.